Hello board game brothers and sisters, and welcome to another episode where I'll be letting you know of Kickstarters launching this week. Like every episode, let's start this off with a couple of giveaways, and the first one I have for you is called Gunshu, the Art of Strategy. And this is a 2-player abstract strategy game where each player is an expert military tactician. Players are going to have 3 different types of troops, and you're going to be drafting for positions on the map. One piece on each team is going to be that player's shogun piece, and if you can capture your opponents before they capture yours, you win the game. A neat thing about this game is that if your pieces are all connected adjacently, they can actually all move at the same time in the same way. And this giveaway is going to be for the English edition pledge, which comes with everything you need to play the game, along with all stretch goals and 3 Kickstarter exclusive expansion cards. And to enter this contest, all you have to do is leave the hashtag Gunshu and let us know one of your favorite martial artists, either from real life or fiction. For me, there's 2 martial artists that stand out, and they're both from the same show, Jin and Mugen from a show called Samurai Champloo. If you haven't seen that show, they're 2 really great martial artists, but they have very different personalities and fighting styles. They're constantly at ends with each other, so it's a really great show and has some awesome music and fight scenes, so I definitely recommend checking it out, and it's pretty funny too. And the next giveaway we have is for a game called Silly Shapes, and this plays 2 to 8 players and takes about 10 to 20 minutes to play. And this is a family-friendly game that's designed with children players in mind. And in this game, you're going to be drawing 8 different cards, and the goal of the game is to get rid of all your cards first. Each card is going to have a shape, a color, and a number on it. And in order to play your card, you have to match one of those with the card that is currently in play. Each card also includes a silly sentence starter and finisher, which when combined can create some laugh-out-loud silly sentences that will add a little bit of humor throughout the game. When you play a card, you're going to read the sentence starter from the card in play with the sentence finisher from the card that you're about to play. This game also has some action cards, which can trigger some light mini-games, which can cause players to pick up more cards. And there's also the deadly Decagon card, which all players are going to be trying to avoid because it can eliminate you from the game. And to enter this contest, all you have to do is leave the hashtag #SillyShapes and let us know what your favorite color is, or maybe one of your children's favorite colors. When I was a kid, my favorite color was green, but more specifically forest green, because I also loved going out into the forest, and why not combine 2 things that you love? I definitely appreciate these publishers donating pledges to the channel, and I'll leave a link to their campaigns in the description below, as well as a pinned comment, so definitely check them out. I'll announce the winners next week, and for now, let's see who won last week's contests. And the first one we're going to draw for is Set a Watch, Swords of the Coin. And this is an expansion to the Set a Watch game, which, if you're unfamiliar with, is a cooperative game where players are working together to try and fight off hordes of monsters while trying to keep their fire alive. And this is a game that's been getting a lot of love from the board game community, and I'm even interested in backing it myself because, unfortunately, I can't win my own contests. And to draw a winner, I use this fancy tool here, and all these extra names are bonus entries to my Patreon subscribers. If you like this sort of content, definitely consider checking that out. It's really the best way to support the channel and help make this just a little bit more sustainable. So let's go ahead and draw those winners. And I'd ask the viewers to let us know what creature they most avoid when they're out camping. So, whew! And our winner is 𝗚𝗺𝗃. And they say that they prefer to avoid the grizzly bear because in a national park near them, the rangers actually advise that you wear bells to let the bears know that you're in the area so that the bears will stay away, but then also to keep pepper spray on hand just in case you run into a bear. And one thing to note is that you can also identify the black bears and the grizzly bears from their scat. Black bear scat is smaller and tends to contain berries, leaves, and possibly little bits of fur, while grizzly bear droppings tend to contain small bells and the smell of pepper. Congratulations, 𝗚𝗺𝗃. All you have to do is send a shipping address to adam@shelfclutter.com and also let me know if I pronounce your name right. And the next giveaway we had was for 𝗚𝗏𝗏𝗀 𝗚𝗏𝗀, and this is for the 3rd edition of the game, which is another game that's been getting a lot of love from the board game community. And this is a cooperative horror game that is very rich in story. If you're interested in this game, I think this is one that you can have a lot of confidence in backing because the original game actually got a lot of love, and the designers have continued to iterate on this using feedback from the different players. There's also a ton of reviews and playthroughs on YouTube that you can go and check out for yourself. So let's go ahead and draw a winner for this pledge, and I'd ask viewers to let us know what their favorite monster of all time was. And our winner is 𝗚𝗺𝗲 𝗟𝗶H, and he says The Nothing from Neverending Story. And I've never actually read that book, but I believe it's sort of a power or entity that you can't see but just moves around destroying things like a storm. Sort of reminds me of the smoke monster from Lost. And he also says thanks so much for the list of games and that he's learned about a lot of new ones. And that's really awesome to hear. I'm really glad that the channel is providing value, and I really appreciate you checking out the channel. So you're welcome, and also thanks for the support. Now let's get to that list with this week's Kickstarters. And the first campaign we have is called Cartographers Heroes, and this plays 1 to 100 players and takes about 30 to 45 minutes to play. And the reason this plays so much is because it's a roll and write game where players can all play simultaneously, so it really doesn't add any time to the game. And this is both a standalone game and an expansion to the already released Cartographers. And if you haven't played Cartographers, it's a really great roll and write game where you're going to be playing over several seasons that all are going to score a little bit differently. And players are going to be trying to create a map using some different features and following some different scoring rules in order to try and get the most points and win the game. This game's going to have 16 all-new scoring cards and 4 brand new ambush cards where the monsters now also have some special abilities. And there's going to be 4 new hero cards that are going to appear in the Explorer deck and can help you eradicate monsters within range. And this is going to introduce 2 map sheets that are different than those in the original Cartographers, so if you have both, this is going to add more variety to your game. This campaign is also going to introduce some new map packs, which will not only introduce new maps to the game, but also some unique cards that are specific to those maps to make them play a little bit different than what you might be used to. If you like roll and writes, this is definitely a campaign that you'll want to check out. Also on the 6th, we have Cardboard, and this plays 2 to 4 players and takes about 15 minutes to play. And Cardboard is a game where players are going to be competing to win the most fame. Players are going to be stringing together different card combos to create a song that not only tells a story, but also contains compositions which represent lore, skill, and magic. The songs you perform will not only generate you fame, but they'll also dramatically change the landscape of the game. You'll be battling other bards with the magic of your music, winning over the crowd to claim victory. The first player to win 15 fame wins the game. And the next game we have also releases on the 6th, and it's called Frostpunk the Board Game. And this plays 1 to 4 players and takes about 120 to 150 minutes to play. And this game actually has a designer who also designed games like Lords of Hellas, Heroes, In Between, and Nemesis. And this is a cooperative game where players are the leaders of a small survivors colony in a post-apocalyptic world that has been hit by a severe ice age. You're going to have to manage both the infrastructure and your citizens to try and keep your colony alive and thriving. This game is going to be a very challenging one where each of your decisions is going to come with its own set of repercussions. Trying to manage your citizens isn't going to be easy either because they're going to have their own moods and are going to react based on how you treated them. It's going to be up to the players to decide how they want to inspire their citizens and maintain control in their colony. This offers story-driven, scenario-based gameplay, but also offers a lot of replayability through a modular board, multiple paths to victory, and unpredictable worker meeples that can get sick and hungry if you don't treat them right. This game also comes with some really nice miniatures and terrain models, one of which is actually a cube tower that sits in the middle of your map as a heat generator, and I'm super interested to see how that thing works. This game is based on a bestseller video game that was released by the same studio that also released this War of Mine. And the next campaign, also launching on the 6th, is called Herbaceous the Pocket Edition. And this plays 1 to 4 players. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes to play. And this version of the game is going to play exactly the same to the original version, where you're going to be collecting different herbs either in your garden or in a community garden, and then using your containers to create sets in order to score points. The value of your collection is going to be determined by the sets that you manage to collect. This game will be complete with all cards, dividers, and rules from the original game, but with some modified art to make it more visual for the smaller card size. This game's also going to include a solo variant designed by one of the co-designers of the original game. And if you back this campaign, you'll also get the Flavor Pack mini expansion, all for free. Also on the 6th, we have Unforgiven, and this plays 2 players and takes about 15 to 30 minutes to play. And this is a competitive game that takes place in the wake of President Lincoln's assassination. Players are going to take on the role of either the defense or the prosecution for Mary Surratt, who was suspected to be a conspirator for the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. Players are going to draft cards to strengthen their case and recruit jurors to their side. Players will also do this by using evidence for or against the accused. This game also uses mechanisms like deck building, dice rolling, set collection, simulation, and tug of war. I just wanted to pause here and say thanks for watching the video, and if you like this content, definitely consider liking and subscribing because it really helps out the channel. And if you want to help out the channel while also helping out yourself, definitely check out Kickstartergames.com because any purchases you make there, a small portion will come back and help this channel. Kickstartergames.com has a ton of different games, and if you check back frequently, you might even find a few Kickstarter exclusives. This is because they also buy games, so if you're interested in slimming down your collection, definitely reach out to Kickstartergames.com because they can help you out. And if the giveaways on my channel aren't enough, you can also subscribe to their newsletter because they do a giveaway every month. I'll leave a link to their website in the description below, so if there's a game you've been looking to buy, definitely check them out. And next we have Dungeon Drop, Drops Too Deep, and this plays 1 to 4 players and takes about 20 minutes to play. And this is actually an expansion to the game Dungeon Drop, and if you're not familiar with that game, it's a game where you drop a bunch of cubes on the table at the start of the game, and these cubes are going to represent different things like pillars, treasure, and monsters. And on a player's turn, they're going to connect 3 of those pillar cubes to form a triangle, and any cubes that fit inside that triangle, that player is going to take and then resolve those effects. You're also going to be able to manipulate the cubes a little bit with some dexterity elements like flicking, and this expansion adds new huge monsters, forbidden pillars, rules for relic fragments, additional races, classes, and quests, and an all-new co-op mode. There's not a whole lot of information out describing these different elements, but I checked out their website and I noticed that they do have a rulebook posted. I didn't have a chance to look at it myself, but if this is a game that you're interested in, I'm sure that'll have all the information you need. And next we have the King of the West, and this plays 2 to 3 players, but if you have multiple copies of the game, you can actually play up to 9, and then it takes about 5 to 20 minutes to play. And King of the West is a competitive area control game where players are all different characters trying to gain control of 3 specific buildings. On your turn, you can either claim a building, move, or cause a shootout. Causing a shootout is how you eliminate other players from your buildings, and the game ends when one player has claimed all 3 buildings, or if there is only one player controlling any building in town. And of course, that player is the winner. Also on the 6th, we have Crimson Woods, and this plays 2 to 6 players and takes about 45 to 120 minutes to play. And Crimson Woods is a cooperative survival horror game where players are trying to work together to escape the camp from a vicious killer. The camp is made up of 36 tiles that will allow the killer to stalk and inevitably pop up and attack you, and you're going to be exploring these tiles to find resources to help you survive. You don't have to be the first to escape, but you do have to escape in order to win the game. This game uses mechanisms like dice rolling, memory, a modular board, and player elimination. And now on October 8th, we have a game called Ambush Epic, and this plays 1 to 4 players and takes about 90 to 120 minutes to play. And in this game, players are entering a shadowy dungeon with the intent to destroy all the evil forces that live there, and also take credit and earn glory along the way. This is a semi-cooperative game where players are going to have to work together to not let the evil forces win, but you're also going to want to try to take out as many on your own as possible so that you can get the fame and glory that comes along with that. This game's going to incorporate mechanisms like alliances, deck construction, dice rolling, push your luck, rolls with asymmetrical information, and variable player powers. The player with the most glory wins the game. And the last game we have launches on October 10th, and it's called Bad Boss 2, and this plays 1 to 6 players and takes about 20 to 30 minutes to play. And this is a take that party game where players are going to be trying to collect cards to get the most points and win the game. But you're also going to be using the abilities on your arse cards to step on your fellow employees and take advantage of the other players in order for you to get ahead. There's also a bad boss card that can be drawn, and it can get passed around throughout the game, and whoever gets stuck with it at the game end loses everything. Some of you may have noticed that I've been posting my videos a little bit later than usual, and also that I've only been posting 1 video a week when I normally try to work on multiple videos at a time and occasionally get 2 or even 3 videos out in a week. I've also been a little late posting the video to announce the winner for the Box Throne Shelf, and I also have been trying to get another Board Game Chats video out because a lot of you have been asking me about that. I promise you I haven't been lazy and I'm not intentionally slowing down on this. I'm just actually in the middle of moving right now, and that's been taking a lot of time up. Even getting out this single video a week has been pretty difficult, especially when there's been a ton of games the past 2 weeks, and it's really been a miracle and a lot of nights without sleep that I've been able to get those out. I'm gonna miss this place, but I am excited for the change in scenery. It is a little bit up in the air of where exactly I'll end up, so I don't know where the next few videos are actually going to be filmed, so definitely stay tuned for some interesting developments. I'm normally not super active on Instagram and Twitter, but maybe I'll use this opportunity to post a few updates of my situation, so I'll leave a link to them in the description below. That's all I have for you this week. Until next time, keep that shelf cluttered and the table full.